All right, YouTube, this is Choice HPTV back with another update. It's been confirmed it was an attempt on Trump's life. So far, they found out that there are other people that were at the rally that were hit with gunfire along with the shooter. The shooter is no longer with us. He lost his life in his attempt on Trump's life. Now, the world is getting crazier and crazier with the rhetoric, with the division, with the demonizing, with the lawfare, with the undermining of the Constitution, the undermining of the people and the citizens of this country. You know, I was seeing something today where they were talking about how Latino gangs are arming immigrants and how at some point the left wants to create a black and brown war because it's an assault on black Americans and the black community. But this situation with Trump has elevated the consciousness and awareness and alertness of the American public and the people. The whole world is watching this now. Yesterday's price, not today's price. Today, after this, is very different. The rhetoric is going to have to change or have a tendency to believe that retaliatory acts could be a possibility in these heated engagements now at this point. But it's a sad day in this country because the violence is on every level now. The debauchery, every level. I'm going to let you see this updated clip so you can see that the shooter lost his life as he should. As he should. I would have rather seen him caught than firing squad or something like that so we could find out who sent him, what's motivated him, or maybe he has some type of manifesto that'll come out later. But I want you to check out this latest clip for fair use in the 1976 Copyright Act, commentary and educational purposes. Look at this next clip.
I didn't want to interrupt you, but just confirming the Associated Press says that one of the rally attendees is among the dead. The shooter in this incident is also dead. So we have that confirmed through the Associated Press. The person who fired shots in an assassination attempt on former President Trump is dead, and sadly, an innocent person attending this peaceful rally has also been killed. Wow. Charles, there are no words that this would happen in our country anywhere, but particularly God Bless America is more than a song. It's we really
I'll tell
need.
You, we got to be so grateful that the former president is alive. That at this point in time he seems to be okay. We need to be thankful for the amazing job of the first responders, Secret Service, law enforcement on the ground to shield him with their own bodies, protect him, and get him out of harm's way and to a hospital so he can immediately be seen. You know, this is an area that is controlled by the Secret Service. Everybody coming in to this rally goes through screening by the Secret Service Uniform Division, where they are searched for hazardous items, including weapons. So the big question here is, did the shots, this being an outdoor venue, did the shots come from within that screened or clean area, or did it come from outside of this clean area? So that's something that the investigation is going to look at. The FBI, because this is an assassination attempt, the FBI will come in as the lead investigative agency. The Secret Service will work alongside the FBI to go over all of these details related to the shooting and how it occurred.
Let's actually replay the moment, and I want you, Charles, to just pay attention because I'm going to ask you for a play-by-play right after this. Can we play this moment off the top, guys? I wanted to actually have the audio up, but it's okay. Right now, we see that shot. Now we can say it for what it is. That shot hit former President Trump. Okay, and then let's listen to the audio for just one moment.
If you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Now, why I wanted to hear the audio is because you hear a hail, Charles, of gunfire. You hear one round of multiple shots, then you hear a second round of multiple shots, and then right as I started talking here, you hear one single shot. Now, as you
do, so
go ahead, give us your insight.
yeah. So look. First thing is you got to confirm the number of shooters, right? Was it 1, 2, or 3? It sounds to me like it was 1. And again, you see it coming from the right side. As soon as you see the former president grab his right ear, you hear the instruction coming from the Secret Service detail instructing him to drop to the ground as they're moving towards him. And then you see they're waiting. You see the response ultimately from the counter assault team, which is going to provide some much needed additional firepower. There they go, coming to the stage now, and they're going to help that shift, that inner security bubble permanently assigned to former President Trump, to move him off of the stage once they feel it's safe to do so. We don't hear any continuing gunfire. Ultimately, somebody makes the determination, let's get him off now. And of course, he immediately goes to the armored car and they move off of the scene. Any situation like this, and we learned this after the assassination attempt of President Reagan, immediately he's going to go to the hospital, which you've heard in reports is exactly what they did. If you recall, when former President Reagan was shot, he thought that his Secret Service detail leader, when he landed on him in the limo, broke a rib of his, and then he started coughing up blood. Well, then the Secret Service detail leader ultimately knew that it was much worse than just a broken rib, and they needed to go to the hospital, that in fact he had been shot.
So my thought was, when I heard that first and then that second round of fire, and then now we know that the gunman is dead. When I heard the single shot, I wondered if that was return fire from Secret Service or law enforcement on the scene. We can't know, but my thinking was he fired, whoever this gunman was, fired so many shots in that initial round or two, and then we hear a single one shot, and we don't know if that person, self-inflicted, if they killed themselves. We don't know if they were taken out by law enforcement, but I was curious to hear your insights, because those who were in the crowd, as I'm reading on X, describe it as 8 to 10 shots is what they initially heard.
Yeah.
And that it was possible that people in the crowd had been hit, and we have now confirmed that is indeed the case. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your
That was the latest update that I could find. I'm gonna keep you guys updated throughout the night on the latest developments. You know what I mean? It's going this is deep, especially for the conservative parties that support Trump. You got to know that MAGA is angry. You know what I mean? And the rhetoric and the hatred that was spewed and has been spewed toward Trump, it's going to have to stop. I wouldn't advise that to be the dialogue in this country at this point. At this point, it's starting to look like 1865 in the 1800s, when Americans become up in arms, divided over political agendas. Only now it will be a lot more fierce with the internet and the type of weapons in the community now. The divisiveness, and I have to be honest and call a spade a spade. The anger and the vitriol from the left has been ridiculous up to this point. You know what I mean? Calling the man everything but a child of God. The Joy Reids and the Roland Martins because of a political ideology. You know, when you study like Machiavelli or the Art of War, the end of politics is war. When you can no longer debate and reason, then it's war. The final end of politics. So I'm very interested to see how the left is going to report it, how his enemies are going to weigh in on this conversation and the topic. You know, I want to see if they're going to be respectful at this point, because at this point, I don't see how it would be beneficial to gloat and to celebrate, because the celebration could possibly be very short lived. You know, I know everybody's processing how they feel about what happened. If you're on the right side of the topic, conservative, you're probably angry. If you're on the left, you may be celebratory, but I would advise you to be fearful. Don't be foolish enough to think that now is the time to gloat, because millions of people love that man. He's the candidate on the Republican side. The lawfare and everything that has been directed toward him, and to now move on him in this type of way, this type of violence toward the man, it elevates these politics to a whole nother level. I'm not going to hold you because news is going to be breaking all evening. I'm signing to you out of Detroit. This is Detroit's HPTV. Support the channel, like, share, and subscribe. Become members. You know what I mean? Channel needs your support because, of course, they shadow banning this side. You know this. You know this channel shadow banned and being suppressed. So I need the support of my members and subscribers, so we can keep going in the direction that we've been going for the last several months. But this is an interesting take. And now that we know that the shooter lost his life in his attempt, I have mixed feelings about that. I wish they would have captured him. And condolences to the other rally member and the person that was there that lost their life. Condolences to their family. And this is just a sad day in America. Signing to you out of Detroit. Peace. Keep your head on the swivel.